Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you Game 3 in a series between IMMvp versus SlayerSCella here on Shattered Temple. So far, MVP has pretty much been unstoppable. A very cold and calculating Terran would be the best way to describe him. He knows the timings, he knows harassment, he doesn't do anything that anyone would deem as cheese play or non-standard play, but his standard play is so well executed that even if the Zerg player does get a slight advantage in drones, it is quickly lost, as we now see Scella spawning as the blue Zerg at the 6 or 7 o'clock position, IMMvp spawning as the red Terran at the 12 o'clock position. Now, supply depot being built on the front door. It looks like we will have a standard wall in, and SCV is going to make sure that there is no Overlord off in that position there. The Overlord will quickly scout out that there is no command center here. So without a command center, by process of elimination, knows exactly where his opponent is. Meanwhile, MVP looking to build up that barracks in just a moment. Looks like he will be able to set it up right there. Come on. Yeah, there you go. Now setting it up. And we'll see whether or not he goes into gas and whether he sticks to his traditional play where he just opens up with a barracks and then opens up with a reactor and getting off a little bit more harassment. There is that refinery now. I believe as soon as this barracks is done, we'll have a training of a Marine and an upgrading to an orbital command as well. Meanwhile, Scella now opting to once again go for a fast hatchery before going into spawning pool and extractor, deciding to stick with the same true build that he's practiced. Even though it didn't work in games 1 or game 2, perhaps it will work in game 3 in the series. Once again, I don't know if I'm casting these games out of order. I try to get them in order, but sometimes they are uploaded out of order, so that is just simply beyond my control. We are currently, what are we doing? We are building a tech lab now, so it may be a Reaper expansion here on Shattered Temple. So we could be getting some Reapers out. Supply depot will be added on as well. That one scouting drone will quickly get stuck on the inside of this base here, as we do have a Reaper now being added. Drone looking to deal some damage by shutting down this tech lab, and SCV now walking all the way over, getting some damage onto this one particular drone. Drone being forced to run away to live and fight another day. Hatchery about to be completed, and now we are getting that spawning pool and that extractor. So what Scella's going to have going for him is he will have a lot more larvae off of the second hatchery, but he really needs those queens to follow up in order to power drone. But power droning against a Zerg or a Terran player that is Reaper expanding is rather difficult unless you have more queens than hatcheries. When you have more queens than hatcheries, you have faster movement speed for those queens, as you can get some more creep tumors. And also the additional bonus that a queen does have level 1 armor, even without any armor upgrades, greatly reduces the amount of damage that a Reaper is able to deal. Only 6 damage per shot, as opposed to, say, 22 damage, or sorry, 18 damage if it is hitting a light unit. You can now see the Reaper making its way in, perhaps going to try to shut down even more of those Zerglings. Reaper now quickly going to use some DA charges. Reaper now shutting down a Zergling and now going after a drone. That drone's days are pretty much limited. It does get destroyed, so this one Reaper already up to 4 kills. Doing a good job so far, and we'll see what he's going to happen here as the Reaper able to use a DA charge and stop a creep tumor. So that was a very clutch play, as well as the queens are now trying to come together in order to shut down this one Reaper, but the Reaper is still scouting out and causing just a minor headache for SlayerSCella right now. We are going into a tech lab onto that factory. Marines are still being added, and perhaps we should be getting a siege tank now, if not in just a few seconds, as a command center is being built at the natural expansion. This one Reaper is still looking to capitalize on its payday. There is a queen ready to receive it, and that one Reaper does decide to back off. We currently have the siege tech mode not yet completed. We are getting a first siege tank and now also getting a bunker as well, upgrading to an orbital command. Both players sitting on relatively low food counts, 32 compared to 36. Scella just slightly ahead, but he does have a pretty hefty army for this stage in the game that isn't really doing anything at all. You can see that the Roach is able to intercept that one Reaper, take it down, and able to even up the score just a little bit more, now 150 versus 100. More mules being added as the Overlord frantically tries to fly away from those Marines. The Marines should not be able to, oh, is able to get that last shot off. I thought the Marine was just going to fall outside of range. Looks like the Marines range just enough to shoot it down there, as we are now getting Overlords moving across the center portion of the map. We are also taking the tier 2. We need to get more Overlords, as the Roaches are going to try to push in on this front door. This is not going to be good news, but the Roaches could perhaps deal some damage to this barracks without getting destroyed. That is a slight possibility, as we are now taking into a Spire with more drones, Overlords, Extractors, and Creep Tumors. Now attempting to run off of 4 gas, 12 harvester play. You can see full saturation at each of these extractors, and full saturation here, and I am expecting full saturation here as well. So drones now quickly jumping inside into the extractor, and we are going to be going into a rather earlier Spire. If there is enough Overlords, he could easily get a lot of Mutalisks into the air and try to own the skies. 6 Hellions now on the ground. That blue flame, or in this situation red flame Hellions, dealing still so much damage. Overlords are in position, but this is going to be looking very, very bad, as there is not much of an army. Drones now trying to run away. It looks like, oh, it is blue flame Hellions, so torching through all of those units there. Didn't even really need blue flame, as the Roaches are now attempting to come back. It looks like the Roaches not able to get back onto that ramp nearly enough, and oh, that was just a horrible drone roasting. So much damage being dealt, and it looks like the rest of these drones are just going to get absolutely eaten alive or burnt to a crisp. 35 worker kills, 13 drones compared to 35. And you can see that SlayerS has as many SCVs as he's killed, which is a very, very large amount. And it looks like he wants to add more to that number. More drones getting killed, up to 39 now. Those Roaches just dealing so much damage, as this one low hit point Hellion finally returns home. We are going into double tank play off of 2 factories, adding on a reactor, and a reactor. So we are going to have a lot of Marines with stim pack and most likely combat shield in just a moment. MVP just looking so strong with those blue flame Hellions. Mutalisks now trying to do some harassment of their own. They're not going to be able to do all that much, as we have a lot of Marines just on the ground, able to catch up with those Mutalisks. They have superior range, even though they don't move nearly as quickly. Now, the Mutalisk is going to fly off to the north, hang a quick right, run into this location, as there is a missile turret which may deter it. Yeah, the Mutalisk deciding not to engage with the missile turret, but there's another missile turret here as well. We are at tier 2, as I mentioned. We are now sitting at 78 food compared to 48, so almost a 50% difference in terms of food, as these Mutalisks still fly around the map. You can see that there's not much of an army. 700, 500 coming in from SCella. Meanwhile, MVP sitting on a 2,000, so he has about 800, almost 800 to 1,000 resource bonus, as the Mutalisks are finishing off and trying to get some damage onto these buildings here. Marines quickly stimming around, trying to shoot them down, not able to do so, as those units are once again deciding that it is not worth it to try to engage. And now a very large army coming in across the center. Marines just simply stimming their way in and will be able to shut this down. And there is the GG. SCella realizing that he couldn't get back into this game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 3 in this series as well.